Hello everyone, welcome to Wildwood Studio. I'm Sarah, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a wood burning on this piece of basswood. And this week we hit 10,000 subscribers, which is so exciting, so thank you so much if you subscribed, and if not, thanks for watching, but maybe consider subscribing if you enjoy this kind of art content. The first thing I did was sand the wood and transfer my image so that I could start burning. I'm using basswood for this project, which is super satisfying to burn on since it's so smooth and easy with almost no wood grain. This is a walnut hollow basswood round. I haven't found any other companies that really sell them, so I always end up buying live edge basswood from Walnut Hollow. The quality is usually pretty good, but it can be a bit pricey. I think this one was around $15. I ordered it online through Lee Valley since there's no store near me that sells these. I usually prefer picking wood in person so I can avoid pieces with large knots, but since there's no stores near me that sell these, I chose Lee Valley because I could leave a note asking the worker who packed my order to find one that was as clear as possible. I'm not sure if they actually read the note, but the pieces I got were pretty good. This one does have some knots on the back, but they were mostly covered by the label and the shrink wrap, so I wouldn't have seen them even if I picked them myself in person. The ball tip pen is great for outlining small detailed elements like the flowers and vines hanging in front of the house. Doing these little details with a knife tip pen would have been really difficult because it's harder to maneuver it around sharp corners. Michael's actually used to carry these, and I loved that because I could check them in store and then use their 40 to 50% off coupons that they usually have on their website, but for some reason they stopped stocking them. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it happens to me all the time where I'll find something I really like and I keep going back to the same store to buy it until I notice that the stock is only going down, and then I realize that maybe I'm actually the only person buying them, so after I buy the last one, they're just gone and they never get any more. But if you're an executive at Michael's, please bring back the Walnut Hollow basswood panels so that I can keep getting them for 40-50% off. That would be really helpful. Thank you. I started by burning the foreground elephants? I started by burning the foreground elements like the grass, rocks, and mushrooms before moving on to the house. Unlike painting, I can't go back and cover up something if I make a mistake, so I find it's easier to burn the front elements first. I used my ball tip pen and spoon shader for most of this burning, including the outlines and textures, and then added some line work with my knife tip pen where I wanted a crisper edge. This wood had a bit of a dark spot on the left side of the door, which interrupted some of my shading, but working with the imperfections of the wood is just part of wood burning. For the house, I started with the door frame, which is meant to look like a curved bundle of sticks. I love that it gives this a natural fairy house kind of feel. Once the door was done, I added the hanging vines to the rooftop since they sit in front of the other details in the house. As soon as this video goes up, I'll have new products available in my online shop at wildwoodstudio.ca, including art prints of this burning and a pattern you can print out and trace if you want to burn this design yourself. And to celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers and say thank you, I've also added a 15% off discount code that will be active on everything in my shop for the next week. So if you'd like to support me and my art by ordering a bookmark, a print, or even the burning I'm working on in this video, just enter code 10K discount at checkout for 15% off anything in the shop. For this burning, I'm using my razor tip wood burning system. If you're looking to upgrade your machine, I've had this forever and I totally recommend it. And they don't even pay me to say that, although in a way they kind of have, since I bought this machine for about $300 10 years ago and have never had to replace any of the pens or parts. So $30 a year for a wood burner that's still going strong is pretty good. I really like the look of the cracked plaster exposing the stone. I think it adds detail without feeling overwhelming. And for the wood beams, I outlined them with my knife tip pen for a crisp edge and then added the wood texture. This design is based on a drawing that my husband did. He's always been more creative than me. I think I'm pretty good at drawing what I see, like realism, but he's a real artist. He comes up with amazing illustrations and stories and all kinds of creative ideas. I've been wanting to burn one of his designs for a while, and when I got this live edge round, it felt like the perfect opportunity. He took a picture of the wood and designed this little house for me in Procreate. The original drawing is up on his Instagram if you want to check it out. I'll link to it in the description, and I really hope you do because I feel like he doesn't always get the recognition that I think he deserves online. I think I'm going to have him design more pieces for me in the future since it gives me more interesting things to burn without adding to the time that I have to put into the wood burning, since I already have trouble getting out one video a week. I did make some changes to the design since I tend to favor a more realistic style, whereas he has a more animated, artistic approach. So I adjusted the roof line and removed the little lantern that he included, and I also pulled up real life references for things like the grass and the wood textures and incorporated those into my burning. So while it's not full realism, it leans more in that direction compared to his original. I think it's kind of nice because now they're both the same design but clearly different pieces. The last thing I burned was the grass on top of the house. Initially I did the strokes kind of all up and down and it was really uniform and didn't look very natural, so I found a reference of a real life cottage built into the side of a hill and adjusted my technique. And in the end I got a much more realistic grass texture and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Once the details were done, I went back in and added shadows along the beams to give the plaster a more weathered look and some more dimension. Here's the finished burning before I added color. At this point, I decided to add color to the grass, door, and mushrooms. I like how it looked without the paint, but I thought that the colors would pop more. My husband said he preferred it before I painted it though, so you'll have to let me know what you think. I've added a poll to my post tab where you can vote on whether you like it better with or without color. I'll be interested to see where the numbers actually line up, since I usually get pretty mixed reactions in the comments to whether I should have colored my burnings or not. I used a mix of watercolors and watercolor pencils so the burn textures will still show through. I stuck to just coloring the grass, the door, and the mushrooms because I felt like it was better to keep some of the natural burning, especially the parts that are supposed to be wood anyway. For the door, I considered painting it yellow or green, but ultimately chose blue, and I think it turned out well. I did a digital mock-up of the color in Procreate on my husband's iPad before I painted it to make sure that I liked the colors, since there's no going back once it's been added. I've done that a few times lately and have found it to be a really helpful tool, so I just took a picture of the burning and brought it into Procreate and layered the colors on top. I'm always on the fence about adding paint. I love the look of just the burning, but I think the color makes the piece stand out more. I've been leaning more towards painting lately because I can take good photos before painting and then also after, so it's like I have both versions. Also, prints for this piece, both painted and unpainted, are available on my website now if you're interested. The last step was sealing it with a clear coat. I used Varathane Diamond Wood Finish, the outdoor version with UV protection. There are other good sealers, but I've used this one for years and it works, so I figure why change it. The most important thing is that it's a spray so that it doesn't smudge the paint. Here are some pictures of the finished burning. As always, please let me know what you think in the comments, and please make sure to like this video if you feel that I've earned it, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss all my future art videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.